Welcome to PBS 39 Scholastic Scrimmage. Scholastic Scrimmage is brought to you by the members of PBS 39 and by
Scholastic Scrimmage is sponsored by St. Luke's University Health Network, the region's leading provider of medical education. For more than 100 years, St. Luke's has been dedicated to educating physicians, nurses, and healthcare professionals. To learn more, call St. Luke's InfoLink, toll free at 866 St. Luke's, or visit sluhn.org.
Support for PBS 39's educational programming is provided by the Deluxe Corporation Foundation, proud to support quality programming on PBS 39.
And now your host, Dr. Karen Walton, Provost DeSales University.
Welcome to Scholastic Scrimmage. This is the third contest of the 2016-2017 academic year. It's also the 43rd year that PBS 39 has brought you this academic competition. I'm Karen Walton, and I'm delighted to be your host. From now until May, the best and brightest students from 30 schools will compete for the honor of being the Scholastic Scrimmage champions. At the end of the season, the two final teams will win scholarships for their schools from the Air Products Foundation. Let's meet the team from William Allen High School.
I'm Isaiah, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Hannah, I'm a junior.
I'm Victoria, I'm a junior.
I'm Peter, and I'm a freshman.
William Allen's coach is Morris Smith. And now the team from Panther Valley High School.
My name is Amaranth, and I'm a senior.
I'm Chris, and I'm a senior.
My name is Jenny, and I'm a senior.
I'm Brendan, and I'm a senior.
Panther Valley's coach is Michelle Martin. The judges for today's contest are Sally Campbell, retired English teacher, and Dr. Gary DeLeo, professor of physics at Lehigh University. Remember that the questions on Scholastic Scrimmage demand rapid recall of factual information and are not necessarily indicative of academic training. We understand the rules, so let's begin the contest with a toss-up in language arts. When a dramatic character who is alone on stage expresses his thoughts and feelings, his speech is called a what? Panther Valley?
Soliloquy.
Is correct. And for your bonus, without correcting yourself, spell soliloquy. Chris?
S-O-L-I-L-I-Q-U-E.
S-O-L-I-L-O-Q-U-Y. Next toss-up is in mathematics. Simplify the expression on the monitor and express your answer as an integer. William Allen?
16.
Is correct. And your bonus. Rewrite the expression on the monitor by rationalizing the denominator. The answer is 2 plus radical 3. You have to multiply the numerator and denominator by the quantity 2 plus radical 3, and then simplify it. Next toss-up is in U.S. history. Which two words, added to the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag in 1954, did A, Panther Valley?
Under God.
Correct. And your bonus. In a 5-4 decision upholding an Ohio law, the U.S. Supreme Court in 2002 opened the way for tax money to underwrite tuition at private and parochial schools. Which word designates such a payment made to students for paying tuition at their school of choice? Boucher. Toss-up in world literature. This monster from Greek mythology, eventually killed by Perseus, had a mass of live snakes. William Allen
Medusa.
is correct, as hair. Who was she? Bonus. When Perseus returned to his island, having killed Medusa, how did he subdue the tyrannical king and his courtiers? Victoria?
He showed them the head of Medusa.
And they turned to stone. Toss up in chemistry. Propane contains 8 atoms of what? Panther Valley,
Carbon.
over to William Allen. Victoria?
Oxygen.
Hydrogen. It is C3H8. 8 atoms of hydrogen. Toss up in U.S. history. Which U.S. president was known for the glasses he wore clipped to the bridge of his nose? And Panther Valley?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Over to William Allen, I will continue. Was known for the glasses he wore clipped to the bridge of his nose and for the cigarette holder that jutted upward from his mouth. Victoria?
Woodrow Wilson.
It was Franklin Roosevelt, not Theodore Roosevelt. Next toss-up is in mathematics. Solve the equation on the monitor for x. William Allen?
X equals 4.
Over to Panther Valley. Time is up. The answer is 3/2. You could do it by trial and error, or you could take log to the base 2 of each side. Next toss-up is in American literature. Listen to these lines from the poem Lucinda Matlock and identify the author. I spun, I wove, I kept the house, I nursed the sick, I made the garden, and for holiday rambled over the fields where sang the larks. And by Spoon River gathering many a shell, and many a flower and medicinal weed, shouting to the wooded hills, singing to the green valleys. Author. Edgar Lee Masters, Spoon River Anthology. Toss up in current events. Name the woman who will replace Andrew Jackson on the $20. William Allen?
Harriet Tubman.
Correct. Bonus. 2 women have already been portrayed on U.S. coins. Name them for 5 points each. Victoria?
Martha Washington and Sacagawea.
You got one right. Sacagawea is correct, and the other is Susan B. Anthony. Toss up in physics. Which 3-word term is used in physics to designate the point in a body around which its weight is evenly balanced in all positions? Panther Valley?
Center of gravity.
Yes, and your bonus. Which 3-word term is used in physics to designate a point in a floating body corresponding to the center of gravity of the water displaced? It is the center of buoyancy. Toss up in mathematics, paper and pencil. A committee consists of 6 men and 4 women. 2 of the women are married, and 4 of the men are married. 1 person is chosen at random to go to a state convention. What is the probability that the person is a married man? Panther Valley,
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10, 2/5, 40% is correct. And your bonus. Again, the committee consists of 6 men and 4 women. 2 of the women are married, and 4 of the men are married. 1 person is chosen at random to go to a state convention. What is the probability that the person is a man or is married? Chris?
3/5.
How many fifths?
3.
It is 4/5, 8 out of 10. Toss-up in world literature. Many groups and products have taken their names from famous characters in literature. What current Baltimore football team took its name? William Allen?
The Baltimore Ravens.
Is correct. From a famous poem by a writer of short stories and poetry who died in Baltimore, and your bonus. For 5 points each, this fast food chain, known for fish and chips, takes its name from what multi-talented character in Stevenson's Treasure Island? Victoria?
Long John Silver.
Yes. What peanut butter claims its name from a J.M. Barrie play subtitled The Boy Who Would Not Grow Up? Victoria?
Peter Pan.
Yes. Next toss-up is U.S. history. During what war was the White House badly burned? Panther Valley.
The War of 1812.
Bonus for 5 points each. Answer the following questions. Who was president at the time of the fire? Chris?
James Madison.
Yes, and you know what I'm going to ask next. Dolly Madison is a legendary figure in American history because of her rescue of what valuable item from the White House fire? Chris?
George Washington's portrait.
Yes, by Gilbert Stuart. You can anticipate that, Stuart. Toss-up, chemistry. The element phosphorus occurs in red, yellow, or white form. What chemical term is used to describe elements which exist in different forms and exhibit different properties due to different bonding patterns? Allotropic states. Next question is in art. Long before his death in a car accident in 1956 at the age of 44, which abstract impressionistic painter was known as Jack the Dripper because he flung paint on canvases placed on the floor? William Allen?
Jackson Pollock.
Jackson Pollock is correct. Bonus, Jackson Pollock, a friend of Tennessee Williams, may have been the model for a taciturn, macho, and violent character in Tennessee Williams' A Streetcar Named Desire. Name this leading character. Stanley Kowalski. Toss-up in biology. Name the location at which a neuron can transfer an impulse to another cell.
Synapse.
William Allen, it is a synapse, and your bonus. A small gap exists at the synapse which requires a neurotransmitter to continue the impulse to the next cell. Dopamine is an example of such a neurotransmitter. What disease resulting in tremors and a shuffling gait is the result of low levels of dopamine? Victoria?
Parkinson.
Yes. Toss up in world geography. Identify the largest of the African countries through which the equator passes. Panther Valley.
South Africa.
Over to William Allen. William Allen.
Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Correct, formerly Zaire. And multiple choice for your bonus. From the following list, identify the country through which the equator passes. Is it A, Gabon, B, Cameroon, C, Central African Republic, or D, Angola? Victoria?
Angola.
It is Gabon. It is halftime. The halftime score is Panther Valley 45, William Allen 95. In the first round, we asked the students if they have any role models or any idols. So let's begin with William Allen. Isaiah?
My role models are my parents.
Thank you. Hannah?
My grandfather.
Victoria?
My grandparents.
And Peter?
Winston Churchill and Ronald Reagan.
Okay. Thank you. Let's go over to Panther Valley.
My role model is Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie.
My mentors are my mother and father.
My role models are my parents.
And Brennan?
My role models are my parents.
Thank you. Wonderful role models. British literature. The Enlightenment in the 17th and 18th century Europe is known as what in England? William Allen?
The Renaissance.
Panther Valley? Amaranth?
The Victorian era.
It is the Age of Reason. Toss-up in world history. After being forced to renounce his throne in April 1814, this famous leader was exiled to the island of Elba in the Panther Valley?
Napoleon.
Is correct. By European powers. Napoleon returned to Europe within 11 months, only to be exiled at last to what island in the Atlantic? It is St. Helena. Toss up in mathematics. Draw yourself a picture. Find the area of a square inscribed in a circle of diameter 10 inches. Square inches. Toss up in music. What is the title of this popular piano piece by Scott Joplin? William Allen?
Chopsticks.
Over to Panther Valley. It is The Entertainer. Toss up in American literature. The Puritans were highly literate, and religion dominated much of what they wrote. In 1638, they set up a printing press in Massachusetts, and in 1640 published the first book printed in the colonies, a standard hymnal. Name this book. Panther Valley?
The Bible.
Over to William Allen. The Bay Psalm Book. Toss up in U.S. geography. Name the river that is the boundary between Texas and Mexico. William Allen?
Rio Grande.
Bonus. Multiple choice. Which two of the Texas cities listed on the monitor are not border towns? Victoria?
Austin and Houston.
Correct. Toss up in U.S. history. After William McKinley was assassinated in 1901, who filled the office? William Allen?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Of president. And then your bonus. Name the vice president who became president after the death of Warren Harding in 1923. Victoria?
Calvin Coolidge.
Is correct. Toss up in algebra. Find the log to the base 10 of 1 over 1,000. It is -3. 10 to the -3 power is equal to 1 over 1,000. Toss up in physics, multiple choice. Which two of the following are vector quantities? Velocity, mass, speed, force, time. Panther Valley
Velocity and force.
is correct, and your bonus. What term fits the following definition? A measure of the effectiveness of a force in producing rotation about a particular reference axis. Torque. Toss up in geometry. Multiple choice. Which geometric figure has the greater area? You might want to draw a picture of this. A circle inscribed in a square of side 2 centimeters. Second, a circle circumscribed about a square of side 2 centimeters. Or 3, a circle with circumference of 2 centimeters. William Allen?
A circle circumscribed around a square.
Is correct. Bonus. What is the degree measure of each external angle of a regular polygon of 18 sides? William Allen?
12.
It is 20. 360 divided by 18 is 20. Toss up in world history. In 79 BC, the Roman trading port and resort of Pompeii was destroyed by the eruption of what? William Allen?
Mount Vesuvius.
Volcano, Mount Vesuvius, and your bonus. Pyroclastic flow from Vesuvius also destroyed what other city at the foot of the mountain? Herculaneum. Toss up in biology. What would you expect to be the approximate optimum temperature for the digestive enzyme trypsin? William Allen?
98 degrees.
I'll take that. 98.6 body temperature. And your bonus. What do the enzymes trypsin and chymotrypsin digest? Victoria?
Fat.
Proteins. Toss up in geometry. Just visualize this. If two parallel planes are cut by a third plane, then the lines of intersection are what? Victoria?
Parallel?
Yes. Bonus. What point is equidistant from the three vertices of a right triangle? Victoria?
The center point?
The midpoint of the hypotenuse. Toss up in U.S. history, multiple choice. What style of architecture is found in homes on Alfred's Alley in historic Philadelphia? Is it 1, Romanesque, 2, Baroque, 3, Georgian, or 4, Gothic? William Allen?
Georgian.
Is correct, and your bonus. What name is given to the group that gathered to draft and adopt the Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia in July of 1776? Victoria?
The Founding Fathers?
Continental Congress. The next toss-up is in U.S. history. He is the only president buried in Washington, D.C. The only president, Panther Valley,
John F. Kennedy.
goes over to William Allen. I'll continue. The only president who defeated 2 former presidents in an election, the first president who visited Europe, and the first president to hold a press conference, which he did in 1913. Name him.
Woodrow
Peter?
Wilson.
Is correct, and your bonus. What president said this in his first inaugural address? In the field of world policy, I would dedicate this nation to the policy of the good neighbor. Victoria?
Franklin Roosevelt?
Yes, the good neighbor policy. And your next toss-up is in biology. The nutritional guide called My Plate replaced the food pyramid in 2011. It contains 5 food groups. Name 4 of them. William Allen?
Fruits, vegetables, grains, and meat.
The judges will, fruits, vegetables, grains, meat. Shall I send it over to the other team? Yes, I will send it over to the other team. You may answer if you want to buzz in. Panther Valley?
Dairy, fruits, vegetables, and grains.
Yes, you are correct. And the contest is over. The final score is William Allen, 185, Panther Valley, 60. Our thanks to Panther Valley High School for being with us. Congratulations to William Allen High School. We'll meet you for a second round later in the season. Thank you for watching and supporting these excellent students. Please join us next week for another contest on Scholastic Scrimmage.
Scholastic Scrimmage is brought to you by the members of PBS 39 and by
Scholastic Scrimmage is sponsored by St. Luke's University Health Network, the region's leading provider of medical education. For more than 100 years, St. Luke's has been dedicated to educating physicians, nurses, and healthcare professionals. To learn more, call St. Luke's InfoLink, toll free at 866 St. Luke's, or visit sluhn.org.
Support for PBS 39's educational programming is provided by the Deluxe Corporation Foundation, proud to support quality programming on PBS 39.